A manhunt is underway to find two teenagers wanted in connection with a deadly shooting at a pot shop in Tacoma. The two teenagers had been charged in a violent pawn shop robbery in Federal Way last month, but judges released them on electronic home monitoring. KOMO's Tammy Mutasa has been staying on top of the story for us for Operation Crime and Justice. She's live with the urgent search for the teens. Tammy?
And Mary, I talked to the mother of Marshawn Jones, one of those teen suspects who's now wanted for murder, and she was very emotional, pleading with her son and Hatfield to do the right thing and turn themselves in. She says she does not want anyone else to get hurt.
I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm frustrated for myself and all the other individuals that were affected by these people.
Considered armed and dangerous, take a good look at 15-year-old Marshawn Jones and 16-year-old Montrell Hatfield, who has a limp from a right prosthetic leg. Tacoma police say the two teens are wanted for murder in the shooting death of Jordan Brown, a World of Weed worker who was ambushed at the store on Saturday. His workers left candles with heavy hearts.
It's a sad thing that it happened, and it's a tragedy. And he will be missed.
5 days earlier, prosecutors say Jones and Hatfield had escaped house arrest after being charged in this violent Federal Way pawn shop robbery where Jones even fired a shot. Prosecutors argued for them to stay in juvenile detention, but Judge Everett Rothrock released the teens on electronic monitoring ankle bracelets at home. And Judge Nelson Lee continued their release because officials say he didn't have the authority to change the decision.
Honestly, shame on you for making this decision. It's upsetting and it was preventable.
Detectives have been investigating if the teens are involved in more robberies. The days after Hatfield and Jones cut off their ankle bracelets, detectives say at least 3 Tacoma pot shops were held up at gunpoint, including the Mary Mart, where a suspect fires a shot into the ceiling. Investigators say in each robbery, the common denominator was a suspect with a distinctive limp.
How many one-legged bandits do you know? Really?
This victim at Mary Mart had a gun pointed to his head in the violent takeover captured on camera.
Obviously, they don't have regard for human life. So why were they put under house arrest? It's ridiculous. And if a gun's involved, I don't care what your age is, you go to jail.
While the community is left mourning.
Sorry to see this happen.
And the teenagers are on the run. The victims say the worst case scenario happened when it could have been prevented.
And at the end of the day, somebody needs to be accountable. Somebody needs to say, nope, these are violent people. They need to be held accountable, and we're not allowing them to get back on the street.
Support are pouring in from local leaders and law enforcement agencies across the state this afternoon. Many sharing a photo with a black stripe across an Everett Police badge. It is a symbol of mourning and respect. Officer Rocha was killed just as first responders were honoring the life of a fallen sheriff's deputy in Pierce County. For many, losing 2 members of the law enforcement community in less than 2 weeks is simply too much to comprehend. On the corner of Wall and Wetmore in Everett, the piercing sound of sidewalk signals drown out the many cars that pass by. And outside the police department's North Precinct, they stand in disbelief. For some, the emotion is too much to bear.
I'm just very sad. You know, it just shouldn't have happened.
Kathy Weber brought her granddaughter here to add flowers to this growing memorial in honor of Officer Dan Rocha, a man she met several years ago during a call not far from where his suspected killer was taken into custody on Friday.
And he was just so good and so compassionate and just wanted to make sure everybody felt safe.
Police and fire agencies across the state have posted so many messages of support, including this one from the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. Deputies and hundreds of first responders were gathered in Parkland to say goodbye to one of their own, just as Rocha's life was cut short.
It's a lot, and it's very sad. And one thing that I really instill in my kids is police officers are human too.
It doesn't matter where you live. The men and women keep us safe every day, and we need to back the blue.
Lessons so many parents and grandparents here are trying to help children understand.
She knows he's in heaven. She knows why we were here, to pay our respects and to show his family some love.
A husband and father of 2 sons who joined Everett PD back in 2017. It is a dedication to service that so many want remembered.
I don't think they get the credit that they deserve sometimes because they truly are putting their life on the line every day.
I am heartbroken to stand before you tonight and inform our community of the passing of Officer Dan Rocha, who was killed in the line of duty this afternoon while serving our city.
Breaking now at 11, heartbreak in Everett. This is a live look right now from the WashDOT traffic cameras. A procession started within the last 20 minutes to honor an officer who made the ultimate sacrifice. This is video from where that procession started tonight. Tonight, the community mourning 41-year-old officer Dan Rocha with the Everett Police Department. Everett Police released this photo within just the last 90 minutes. Rocha, a beloved member of the force, was shot to death today. It happened in the parking lot of a Starbucks along Broadway Avenue. Now, the community he served is forced to deal with the loss of someone that protected them for years. KOMO's Mo Hyder has been on the scene throughout the day. He's live in Everett tonight with the very latest on the investigation and how the community is reacting to all this. Mo?
Yeah, Preston, well, this is certainly a tragedy for this community, and tonight people are coming together to show their support to the Everett Police Department.
The death of an Everett police officer killed in the line of duty has left this community devastated.
It's sad. I mean, there's no words I can, say, can bring this guy back. It's horrible. It's horrible.
41-year-old officer Dan Rocha had been with the department since 2017, a family man who was passionate about protecting the community.
He was a great man, a great father, a great husband. His crew members loved working with him. He loved this job.
He was shot to death in this Starbucks parking lot in North Everett and leaves behind a wife and 2 sons.
This is the worst event for a police officer in a police department, in a community, in a family to go through. And I am heartbroken. Our officers are strong, and they're out here tonight patrolling this community like they do every day and every night.
He was a patrol officer in North Everett, and people living in the area told us how much they appreciate his service.
We're grateful for his work and his, being here for everybody and supporting, the community and backing people up and, just being a protector of the community.
Tonight, the community leaving the Everett Police Department with this message.
Please keep up the good work. I'm very sorry for your loss. It impacts our entire community.
And tonight we're waiting to learn more about a shooting near the light rail station in Tukwila. This was breaking news last night at 6 o'clock. One man died there, another was injured. So far, police haven't identified either man. They also haven't released any details about what led up to the shooting or whether anyone is currently in custody. In the wake of yesterday's shooting, Sound Transit says it plans on temporarily increasing security at the station in Tukwila.
Riders who spoke with KOMO News said they don't feel safe getting on and off the light rail. KOMO's Nick Popham reports on their concerns as Sound Transit tries to keep their passengers safe.
Please report any harassment to security or transit employees.
Sound Transit rider Ryan wasn't surprised.
It's just normal here.
He didn't want to give us his last name, but tells us for years now he's seen some crazy things happening at the Tukwila light rail station.
I've had guns and knives pulled on me. I've gotten in fights and drugs tried to be sold to me.
It wasn't long ago that he was coming back from a late night workout at his gym when his trip home took a turn.
It was like 1 a.m. I just got out of the gym and I had a guy pull a gun on me and try and take my bag.
That guy, he says, ended up hitting him and taking his bag. It highlights just one violent scene that riders here say they're used to.
I've never seen it this bad before in my whole life.
To Raymond McVeigh, he feels like it's every man for himself out here.
It's not much different than prison, Somebody's always doing something. Just watch my back.
But John Gallagher with Sound Transit says their data shows an overall safe environment when riding the light rail.
We have a lot of riders, relatively few assaults compared to that.
According to Gallagher, in 2022, there have only been 27 reported assaults to Sound Transit, while they average about 1.6 million riders a month. Despite that difference, he understands that safety is still a priority, which is why they're increasing it here after yesterday's shooting.
Just as a precaution and, for the safety of our riders. We have a lot of people who are throughout the system all the time, who are circulating all day long.
While Ryan hopes security is more assertive in protecting the riders.
And I get it, you can't really stop them from doing anything, but if they were just more stern with what they were doing.
In Tukwila, Nick Popham, KOMO News.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.